So, அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். It's another interesting bridge here. ஏறக்குறைய ஒரு 3 bridge மதுரைக்கு வந்திருக்கேன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். So, thanks for joining in numbers. So, Siva was opening the day remarks by saying change and challenge, right? And I'm here to emphasize from the industry perspective that there is a change which has been happening in the workspace. There is a lot of change which has been happening. Are we ready for the change as a very important contributor from the academic side? And did we understand what's been happening? And if so, if that is a challenge, how do we navigate the challenge? I think that's the context with which this bridge is on today. Whole day deliberation is going to be around what is the change which has been happening in the business and how do we navigate this challenge? You have a host of speakers from the business side who are going to talk to you about giving you various inputs. And yesterday evening, I had a good interaction with some of the college senior leadership team who really deliberated well, but at the same time, I would say they've been talking the same language. I'm with NASCOM for the last 10 years now. I've been meeting most of these senior leadership of various educational institutions, and the challenge remains for them is same. The industry does not come to rural. We don't get internships, and you just come only to recruit. There is no deeper interaction with the industry. These pointers have been discussed far and wide, and it remains the same as a challenge from the academic side. But let me tell you, I represent the ITS business. We have immensely contributed in bringing up these tier 2 cities in terms of recruitment and added value to the economy of those cities, tier 2 and tier 3. I remember 2008, we did a film about how we have revamped those smaller towns in terms of adding value by providing jobs to the people from government institutes and alike. So, today, if you are getting admission into the 632 engineering colleges and various arts and science colleges across Tamil Nadu, it is because of this business which has accommodated almost around 400,000 people today. Everybody has got, the parents particularly, has got a passion of making their son or daughter as an engineer and deploying them, as Sridhar said, into the top 20 IT services companies, right? So, I leave this here because enough has been spoken about it in various bridges. 24th bridge this is. We have spoken enough about it. Let me come back to the change which has been happening in the workspace. Yesterday I was traveling in an ATR Jeddah-Airways, and there were two guys who are co-passengers to me who have been a frequent flyers. One guy is from a place called Vatrayiruppu, and typical guy who's in his 40s. You can imagine kadar satta pota vesti pota or aale. And the other person is, I think he's a big politician, but from a national party. They both have been traveling together. Both of them known for some time back, they have not met. This guy at 40s who is a builder, who was building in Vatrayiruppu, moved up to Chennai, had 2 phones. Flight is about to take off. He was telling on one phone, Yamma, na solradhu kekkuda, na solradhu mattum bankla sollu. Innor line la auditor irukar, avarkitte solliten. இன்னொரு ஃபோனில் ஆடிட்டர் சார் நான் சொல்கிறது கரெக்டாக இருக்கா, மேனேஜர்கிட்ட அதை மட்டும் பேசுங்க. நோ யூ இமேஜின் வாட் தே ஆர் டிஸ்கஸிங், ரைட்? ஐ லீவ் வித் யுவர் இமேஜினேஷன். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் ஒன் கான்வர்சேஷன். த அதர் பாலிட்டிஷியன் காட் எக்ஸைட்டட். சார் பிரச்சனை அதிகமாக இருந்தால் சொல்லுங்கள் சார், நம்ம பார்த்துக்கலாம். ஸோ ஈ இஸ் ட்ரைங் டு கெட் இன், ரைட்? ஐ காட் லாஸ்ட். ஐ எம் சிட்டிங் நெக்ஸ்ட் டு திஸ் கை பாலிட்டிஷியன். திஸ் கை இஸ் behind. Okay? So, flight is about, the lady has been making announcement and she was coming and requesting, sir, can you switch off the phone? Romba mukkiyamaana prachanama. She doesn't understand Tamil. Romba mukkiyamaana prachanama. This guy from Vatrayiruppu is saying, the other guy is saying, in English he is talking to her, in Hindi, thoda der de do, something he was telling. I know, he is from a national party, so he would have picked up in Hindi. So, this is the conversation. After that, they switched off, they started interacting. You know what? The politician was asking this businessman, boss, Anna, he is actually younger, but that's how we call, right? Anna, நீங்க Facebook, Twitterல இருக்கீங்களா? இருக்கிறேன் சார். நான் இல்லாமல் எப்படி சார்? நான் வந்து இது வரைக்கும் சென்னையில் போரூரில் ஒரு 4-5 ப்ராஜெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன். ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட்டுக்குமே நான் வந்து வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப் கிரியேட் பண்ணிவிடுவேன். கஸ்டமர்ஸ் கிரியேட் பண்ணுறதுக்குள்ள நான் பண்ணிவிடுவேன். ஐ ஹாவ் அ ஃபேஸ்புக், எனக்கு ட்விட்டர் இருக்கு. I got zapped. What has been happening around here? I think this is the change which has been happening in the workspace. We had steno, typist, all that, right? இப்போ நமக்கு ஒரு மெசேஜ் டைப் பண்ணணும்னா பக்கத்தில் இருக்க ஸ்டெனோ கிட்டயோ டைபிஸ்டையோ போகிறோமா? Everybody is faster in communicating, right? We use so much of channels of communication, so much we have a social media presence, which was not there before, right? Somebody spoke about salesmen are called as evangelists, right? So there are so much of changes which has been happening, but are we producing those kind of people? Today we have something called community managers in most of the organizations, right? So are we in sync? நம்ம அரைச்ச மாவையே அரைச்சி அதையே இட்லியும் தோசையுமா ஊற்றிட்டு இருந்தால் people have moved forward, right? They want the best of the things to enjoy, right? And we produce these people to address the challenges in US. We still get 60% of business coming in from US. Things have changed. First time in this 25 years of this business, first time we are doing a road show for India as an industry together in US. We wanted to brand ourselves. We want to showcase Indian talent, which never has happened. Without doing all these things, we have been getting business. Today, we, as an industry, we are worried. I represent the IT services, where almost around 75 to 80% of the business is for IT services companies, right, in terms of exports. But we are worried with the kind of productization which has been happening, the kind of startup economy which is coming into place. We are worried. So we are trying to move on and position India still as a destination known for knowledge, technology, and we are in sync with what has been happening around. So unless and until we keep branding and talk about the change which has been happening within the country, I don't think we'll get the business again, right? We cannot be in the stream. So first of all, as a stakeholder in this business, we need to internalize, understand, and also work around with all the stakeholders to ensure we produce the best who will work for the industry with the knowledge which is required, right? So I'm just, first time I'm trying to do a presentation. Unless until we share these inputs, I don't think we can drive our points very clear. This, we have done it with McKinsey. It's in the process. On 4th of January, we are just making this presentation to a host of people at VIT just to get some inputs, right? So technology shifts and the workforce priorities. This is what, which has been put together by a 30-member executive council of NASSCOM. So I'm just making this presentation for the first time. Probably this should help us to get more inputs from all of us, okay? There is a lot of force of disruption which has been happening. Future of jobs are changing, and there is a lot of digital tech impact on the work side. Skills of the future are being defined. Top 20 IT BPM employee rankings, this just forget it. So there is a good amount of emerging markets which has been coming up. How do we address the challenges of those emerging markets? And aging of the global population, right? And which people spoke about. Sridhar was talking about this president who has been retiring at the age of 60 but still wanted to be at the workforce. Power of disruptive technologies which has been happening, and everybody has been experiencing it, right? We use technology has been part and parcel of all the activities we do, right? And integrating the world and the return of the geopolitics. These are the factors, the 5 forces which is changing the world in a fast pace and scale. So people spoke enough about automation. I don't want to go back on that. Creation of new jobs due to emerging technologies, right? As we said, the jobs are changing at the workplace, so we need to create new jobs. Change in existing skills across job functions, transition workforce to new jobs. We need to sync and keep moving forward. Like the earlier speaker said, there are a lot of transition which has been happening in terms of technology, customer expectations, people, the way they behave, the customer experience, the user interface which has been happening in terms of content and so many things. So I think you need to create new jobs to address these kind of work. Demand for social skills, persuasion, emotional intelligence, and teaching. So you have a larger role to play here. You know that the kind of social skills which has been required. People spoke about communication, soft skills, all that. So, so changing nature of work style. People are talking about, somebody was talking about 9 to 6 job and all that, no longer 9 to 6, right? But even yesterday, there was a corporate representative, I think Cognizant gentleman was talking about, people wanting to come and say that, hey, look, can I look at this job as a 9 to 5 job? There's no 9 to 5 job here. Take your teachers or take your educational institutions, is there a 9 to 5 job there? Take the school teachers, is there a 9 to 5 job there? I think that mindset has to change. People have to be committed, people have to be passionate, people have to understand the full spectrum with which they have to deliver. They need to know what is the objectives with which they need to work. So I think that clarity is not there. So when the other speaker was talking about, we need this, we need that, we also understand it's very difficult to get admission into the colleges. Today, colleges are going and scouting for people across to get people to get admitted in the institute, right? So while we understand that, but there is a lot more interaction which has to happen apart from the curriculum, which will help us to make them understand how the changes which has been happening and what is the future workforce which is required, right? Unless and until we understand and do a deep dive and produce these kind of workforces, I don't think we will be able to meet the expectations of the industry any longer. So, and always online, mobile-centric millennials, which we know that Mr. Jain said you don't allow, you need to allow mobile phones and all that. Most of the institutes are pride in saying that we don't allow mobile phones into the campus. Most of the colleges don't allow people to do work on the internet, right? So they are proud in saying that. Probably some of them put it in their profile saying that we banned mobile phones inside the campus. Now it's time to think whether you want to be part of the crowd or part of this problem or part of the solution. So it's highly data driven, analytics oriented, highly collaborative. So these are some of the changes which has been happening at the workplace. So some statistics, global technology spend. So this statistics will help you to understand where we are heading, right? People have been wanting to spend more on technology. People have been, the IT BPM revenue, which shows about the digital tech and the traditional technology spend. So this also talks about how we, the industry has been moving. Global enterprise tech spend will grow 3 to 4%, which will touch around 4 trillion by 2025. So that's the kind of the market which we are talking about. Composition of tech spending will change. Digital tech spend will grow at 24% annually. As a result, demand for digital skills sets to rise exponentially. So this is where the business is moving. So your regular services companies can never look at these kind of work or look at these kind of skills, look at these kind of spend, right? It is the new gen companies which is going to be really looking at these kind, because you need to be agile. I know I have a lot of friends from the services business here, but you need to be agile. So look at companies which can be really agile in terms of looking at these kind of trends which has been happening. Indian technology services revenue projected to reach 350 billion by 2025 with a CAGR of 11%. So there is a lot of opportunities. The digital business to grow 4 times faster than the traditional IT. This is exactly what I was saying. So there is a lot of growth, exponential growth which is available. So this is how the ITBM industry looks at. We have a 3.7 million as the largest private employer. We have around 37 lakh people directly employed in this business in the country. So we have been adding 2 lakh people every year into this business, and digitally skilled is just 3.5 lakhs. And there is a good rise of technocrats. Tech talent in BPM is around 30%, and domain expert 10%. 5% hires among end users are technology driven, and hiring models, you know the hiring models, people would have spoken about that. Improving performance metrics, this is where we need your intervention. 4% increase in utilization in 5 years, 9% growth in revenue, 35% growth in client base in 5 years. So this is what the business is all about. So this is very important slide as far as if you look at what has been the scenario in the hiring, right? So industry transformation, which is already on the way. This is how the transformation has been taking place. Employer branding has been happening. It's very collaborative. Social media, gamification connects, which is helping the HR to recruit. Employer of choice, right? Everybody is talking about, I want to be an employer of choice. So you have great place to work and all those kind of companies which has been working on that. And we don't have a bench anymore. Last at least few years, we don't have a bench anymore. And Chief Employee Experience Office. So this is very important, right? With the new millennial, the kind of expectations they have, every 10 to 10.2 minutes, they get a break. They look at their social media. And it takes 23 minutes for them to come back. This is the statistics it says. So imagine the challenge what we have, right? When we say we, as I'm talking about the industry in totality. So talent management, higher recruitment via referrals, greater stickiness, collaborative with in-house, and very lower learning curve. So lot of talent management activities within the organization. They customize that, they look towards the kind of business they adopt and all that. And on technology adoption, internal social platforms, every organization has got their own internal social platforms, large organization at least. Enhance connects, e-learning, digital skills, just-in-time training, social media for recruitment. That's the game, right? No longer, in the days to come, we'll come to your campus, we'll sit there, do a debriefing, spend a lot of time in cajoling, getting the right talent, all those things will happen through this, right? So you don't have to go behind the recruiters, right? Right? Okay. So performance management, rethink performance incentives, HR functions vested with business leaders. And these are some pointers which I wanted to showcase, because this is the future in terms of recruitment which we are talking about. So I just want to go with the Accenture and Infosys statement. Intelligent automation, the essential new co-worker for the digital age. I was there in a company sometime back, Bank of New York Mellon. 70% automated already. 30% intervention by the human beings, rest are all automated. As Sridhar was saying, that call agents are here to be automated. So that's one interesting. Accenture is also talking about it. In the last 2 quarters, the power of automation has led to us removing and saving 1,200 people from our ongoing projects, and we have already seen up to 50% of the works that can be mechanized being replaced by automation. This is a statement from Infosys. So are we there? So 1.2 to 2 million people needed for the next 100 billion revenue. And we need that people with these technology who will understand what's been happening around. And 5 to 10% existing jobs will be automated, transactional, commoditized. And 60 to 70% of existing workforce will need to be reskilled. We are talking about people who are already deployed in business, people who have been in the system for years together. We need to reskill them. So this is some of the slides which I wanted to show you. So redesign roles, flatter organizations, skills of future, innovative technology, and performance management, appraisals and policies. Everything is going through a change. Incentivize self-learning, stay relevant, amplify value of experience, man plus machine. So these are all some of the pointers which I wanted to. There is some more, but I would want ICT Academy to send this presentation to all the participants. Maybe Andu can do the needful or maybe some time. But again, coming back, I have just 2 minutes. I wanted to leave some message here. We are coming out with a portal called Leadership Resource Center with the support of IIM Bangalore. There is a good team of people who have been working, and there is a 30-member executive council of NASSCOM, who's who, right from Mr. Murthy down to Rishabh Premji. Everybody is totally committed on creating this platform, which is going to talk about in a VUCA world, which is highly volatile, your whatever you call uncertain, complex world. How do we, what is the F stands for there? Ambiguous. So this, Vineet Nair is part of this, right? So how do we work in creating a leadership pipeline? If I do an interview, do I understand that how good he could be a leader, right? So we have tied up and we are doing this LRC portal. This, we are spending so much of time and energy going around the country, talking to various people, workforce, in terms of understanding how do we imbibe those things into this portal, which will be helpful as a tool and technology for the business, right? In this whole process, we have come across with some of the academic, very interesting people across NIT, IIM Bangalore, and ISC, lot of people across spectrum. We have been interacting with them. one strong message which has come across from this academic community is that there are leaders whom we are able to identify in the first year as they enter the portals of some of the large universities like this. But unfortunately, in the peer process, in the peer pressure, they get lost in the system. So our recommendation is, if you could classify the people as they enter your institute, if you could do a strong bucketing system in place where you can say that this guy is aspiring entrepreneur, then let's focus on making him as a real entrepreneur who could be a tech entrepreneur, who could be trading, who could be doing anything else. Then let's look at what does he want to do, or he or she. And second, a bucket of people who are very passionate in doing something for a company, right? What does they want? What is the DNA they have? How do we classify them? But on the contrary, what has been happening in the system in the academic institute is that we put everybody in one box and give the same gyan, right? I think that is one recommendation which is coming sound and loud when we started interacting with some of these academic institutes. Second point is that a continuous interaction. Yesterday somebody was saying that you come to the campus only when you want to recruit, but you need to pull us, right? There are so many people who have been available. Sridhar was talking about a company which is available in Chennai, in Mount Road, I don't name the company, but a passionate guy who's opened the doors to allow people to come work there free. They can do the projects there free. They can stay there free. And he is able to deploy so much of people with this openness and this friendliness with the academic institutes, right? So I think there are enough free resources if you're really open enough. If you fall into the same thing like, I have, my boys wanted to only work with the top 20 companies. That's the reason I didn't put the slide. I have a top 20 companies here on this following slide. But I'm not populating that 20 companies alone. There are, in Tamil Nadu, we have 6,000 companies which are registered as IT and ITS companies. But we know only top 20 companies. Get out of that mindset. There is enough and more for all of us to look at, and there is opportunity. This industry can employ and deploy so many people provided they understand the future of work, right? Thank you very much.